the Mail, and following his shock exit from Fox News, Tucker Carlson has taken his show to Twitter, and he seems to be enjoying being his own boss, Victor.
Yeah, and the story is Tucker Carlson debuts his new show and slams the West's unwavering support for Ukraine, and my favourite part, questions why UFO whistleblowers is not dominating the news and says Americans live in ignorance. First of all, the UFO whistleblower, I think this guy needs to be tested for some of the green stuff, because there's quite an issue there. He thinks that should dominate the whole of American news. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
And I mean, this whistleblower, he said he did have actual evidence of, I mean, he is, again, like
Prince,
like Prince Harry, he couldn't actually provide the evidence, but he said there's definite cast iron
TikTok
evidence.
videos is not evidence. We haven't got time for stupidness. And as for this, he slams the West for unwavering support for Ukraine. Maybe he's right, but for me, he's taking his white privileges too far. They're going to get revoked. He needs to just relax. This is the type of stuff you say when you're 89 on your deathbed. You got fired from Fox News. He's going to get fired from life. I mean,
well, that's the point now, is he can't get fired from this because he owns it. It's him.
When the government want to get rid of you, they get rid. I've watched Game of Thrones. They get rid of people.
You seem to base a lot of your political outlook on Game of Thrones.
Well, we saw what happened to Jeffrey Epstein.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, that was all Game of Thrones. So, look, he's got, I think it's, at the last count that I saw, he had 75 million views. Now, that's not full views watching all the way through, but still, that's very impressive. But then, this is the thing about being in a news organisation, is there's no one necessarily fact-checking him. So he just, straight off the bat, he's just coming out with things like, oh, this is a Russian dam. No, it was built by the USSR and it was owned by Ukraine.
Yeah, but
but he's basically saying, why are they going to blow up their own dam?
Like, you can't really criticise him on saying it's Russian instead of built by the USSR. I mean, it's
no. But the point is, he's saying that it's not. It's a Ukrainian. It's been a Ukrainian dam.
We saw with the Nord Stream.
I know, but that's a different thing.
But again, at the start, everybody was like, "Oh, this is definitely Russia."
My point is his actual ability to say facts is wrong. Later on he talks about like how it's like Putin attacking himself, except all the damage has been to Ukrainian lands. Like, that's what people are forgetting. Like, he's invaded those lands.
But the damage has been. I mean, I agree that I think it's unlikely that anybody other than Russia did it. And I think people saying, "Oh, but it's damaged Russian defences and it's cut off the water to Crimea." It's like, yeah, they've done another stupid thing that doesn't serve their interests.
Well, it does actually serve their interests.
Which they've done a lot over the past.
But to be fair to Tucker Carlson, everyone in the news, apart from GB News, but most news outlets, when you start to look into what they're saying, some of it is
okay, well, that's actually a really interesting point, because you know what? I'm not against Tucker Carlson. I think he's wrong on this particular thing. But this is the thing. Some of the stuff I agree with him, and some of the stuff I disagree with him. And I think that's the way that we're moving into, that's the world we're moving into now, where you have to, or the audience out there will tune in and go, yeah, I agree with that person on this, and I disagree with them on that, rather than it used to be before that you were in your silo where you just read The Guardian and that's the only news source you get, or you just read The Times, or you just read whatever. And this is why something like, and I'm sorry to be like proselytising here about GB News, but the point is, you come on GB News, you're going to get different views. That's the thing about this Tucker Carlson thing, is that's just his perspective. Now, you can watch it and you can agree with some of it.
It's on Twitter. That has quite a range of views.
No, of course, absolutely. But there are people out there who just are going to take everything that he says as gospel. Yeah. And I just don't think you want to take that and do that with anybody, including myself.
But that's what the news does, because people watch the ITV news and they take it as gospel.
Absolutely, but now you have to take it from multiple sources.
Do you two think that it's strange? Do you two think that it's strange that Tucker Carlson, who sort of paints himself as quite a nationalist guy, resisting the global homogenisation and mass migration that's happening in the West and the drive towards LGBTQ, has somehow sided with? It seems to be siding more with Russia than with Ukraine. Ukraine is a fiercely nationalistic country that's resisting global homogenisation and also resisting mass migration, whereas Russia is all of those things.
Yeah, it's really bizarre. Yeah. Like I said, there are things that I agree with him about, certainly in terms of gender identity, how taking over society. Yeah. But on this thing, I absolutely disagree. That's my right. That's his right to say what he wants to say, and people can look up the facts.
And for the British and American government, I do not agree with Tucker Carlson. I want no problems in my life.